This wasn't the only homicide in Central Texas. Down in San Marcos, 2 people are dead and several were taken into custody after a shooting at around 3 in the morning. The shooting happened near San Antonio Street and Guadalupe Street near the Hayes Historic Courthouse, according to police. Police did not share information about the victims or about the suspects just yet. Good evening and thanks for choosing KXAN. I'm Nabil Ramadna. We start tonight with a homicide investigation after a shooting in North Austin. APD said the shooting happened Saturday morning near East Breaker Lane and I-35. The call came into 911 dispatch after the caller said there were gunshots around 2 in the morning. When officers arrived, they found 1 man and 1 woman hurt. According to police, the man died at the scene while the woman was taken to a nearby hospital. The status of her injuries is currently unclear. APD says they have multiple people detained in connection with the crime, and officers are trying to figure out their roles. This incident is being investigated as Austin's 34th homicide of the year. This just in, officials in San Marcos have announced they've made an arrest in connection to an early morning shooting that left 2 people dead today. Police say that 19-year-old Jeremiah Jaden Tobias has been arrested and charged with 2 counts of capital murder in connection to the shooting, which happened near San Antonio Street and Guadalupe Street near the Hayes Historic Courthouse. This is an area where many college students frequent. There are bars and restaurants there as well. Now, the shooting followed a fight that escalated when another man stole a necklace. Police say the investigation is still ongoing. We have more on this over on KXAN.com. I have an update from Kerr County. The Kerr County Flood Disaster Joint Information Center has confirmed that 3 people remain missing at this time from the July 4th flood. The number of people previously listed as missing has dropped from more than 160 to 3. Officials say this drop comes after some people were found and because many people who were initially reported as missing have been verified as safe and removed from the list. Here in Travis County, there are still 4 people missing after the flooding. There's also still 1 person missing in Burnett County. We've got more on this over on KXAN.com. Austin's Office of Police Oversight held its first ever open house today, hoping to give Austin residents a chance to learn a little more about what the office is responsible for. The office showed people who showed up how they can file compliments and complaints about Austin police, what the process looks like after submission, and allowed attendees to meet those in charge of the office.
I don't think many cities are doing this, and I think it's a testament to the true progressive spirit of Austin.
Earlier this year, the office released its 2023 report. We've got a rundown of that data over on KXAN.com.
The hemp industry celebrated a veto from Governor Greg Abbott, but is now shifting its focus on a special session after a promise of regulation on the industry. It comes as Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, who made banning THC a priority, signals a refusal to back down from his ban. State Capitol reporter Adam Schwager has been following this THC saga for us since the beginning. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So this was a high priority bill from Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. How did he respond to Governor Abbott's last-minute veto?
Well, suffice to say, he wasn't happy. That last-minute veto came in at 11:22 that Sunday night. Next day, the Lieutenant Governor has a press conference where he goes as far as to say that what the governor did was in essentially saying that he wants to legalize marijuana in the state of Texas. He slightly walked that back after the governor released a statement, but he was not happy. He was not happy with when it happened, being so late at night. He was not happy that he wasn't consulted throughout that entire process until right before that veto was placed. And he's frustrated, saying that he can't see himself standing on the dais where anything short of a ban does get passed.
So there are 2 THC-related topics on the special session call. What are they, and how do they affect what legislation can actually be brought forward?
Yeah, so the first is what was the stated intent of all these bills in the first place. It is to cap it so that no one can get hemp-derived products unless they're 21 years of age or older. Now, the second part is all about regulation, and that includes possibly banning synthetics, is what the governor talked about, but it says explicitly that it needs to fall short of banning an agricultural product, and it's something the Lieutenant Governor mentioned in that press conference I talked about earlier. He was talking about how the governor is going to carefully craft this special session call, and it could limit the potential of bringing back a full-scale THC ban to this special session.
All right, Adam Schwager, thank you very much.
Puts Texas in a better position going forward than we were before this devastating storm hit our state.
As the Hill Country recovers from the deadly flash flood, lawmakers will be digging deep into getting the whole state prepared for another disaster. Some of the bills already filed and the promises to strengthen them. In the last days of the regular session earlier this summer, a bill to end the state of Texas Assessments of Academic Readiness, or STAAR test, failed. It was held up in closed-door negotiations between the Senate and the House. State Representative Gina Hinojosa broke down the disagreement between both chambers.
The Senate seems hostile to doing away with a STAAR test or a test that the TEA commissioner creates. I don't think there is the will to do it. The Senate tried to pull the wool over everyone's eyes and just create a new test that the commissioner would then still be allowed to create, and nobody wanted that.
In the early days of bill filing for the special session, State Representative Brooks Landgraf, a Republican representing Odessa, introduced his bill to scrap the STAAR test. The bill would only keep standardized tests that are required under federal law. In a statement, Representative Landgraf says he's aiming to alleviate pressure on both educators and students. The special session could renew the debate over reforms to the STAAR test in recent years. Thank you again for joining us for State of Texas. I'm Josh Hinkle. We'll be back next week to bring you an in-depth look at Texas politics.
County Judge Andy Brown has updated part of the disaster declaration associated with the flooding emergency that addresses the use of Lake Travis. The update bans and prohibits all recreational use of Lake Travis only within 100 feet of the mouth of Cow Creek and all of Cow Creek. This ban does not apply to commercial operators, individuals designated as emergency response by a state or local official or agency, or representatives of a state or local agency that access Lake Travis. And ahead of next week's MLS All-Star game, Austin's own soccer team helped clean up the city as part of their MLS Day of Service. Fans and volunteers hit the shores of Lady Bird Lake earlier today to pick up trash and clean the area. Jan Merrim with Major League Soccer says that outreach efforts like this by the team are remarkable.
I mean, we come into a market and we really follow the lead of the local club, and Austin FC have shown such leadership in the ways that they are looking to impact the local community and the partnerships that they have. So, you know, we come in to amplify the work that's already taking place on the ground locally. So we're just really proud of them and what they do in this market.
And that All-Star game is coming Wednesday, the 23rd, starting at 8 p.m.
Well, floodwaters continue to recede, but urgent recovery and cleanup needs remain. Thanks for joining us. I'm Daniel Marin. Jennifer has the day off. New this afternoon, a push from Governor Greg Abbott to add Travis County to the president's major disaster declaration. This while TxDOT begins the fast-track process to replace a bridge washed away by the floodwaters. That bridge is on FM 1431 over Cow Creek between Jonestown and Marble Falls. You can see here how it was completely washed away on July 5th. Well, today TxDOT announced it's awarding a $4 million emergency contract to Hunter Industries to replace the 240-foot-long bridge. TxDOT says more than 3,500 vehicles a day travel over this bridge. Work is set to begin this coming Monday, and Hunter Industries says they hope to finish by September 19th. Now back to that disaster declaration request. Governor Abbott asked the Texas Division of Emergency Management to request a federal disaster declaration for Travis County this afternoon. The governor says the damage exceeds the criteria for FEMA's Public Assistance Program. That's money that would go to local governments to help with recovery efforts. If approved, Travis County would be the 26th county added to the major disaster declaration. Now, Travis County officials have confirmed 10 people died during the flooding. 4 people remain missing. Statewide officials have confirmed 135 people died and more than 100 remain missing.